let's join the hands and just keep in your mind and pay homage to the Buddha. May I pay homage to the Buddha. I pay homage to the Buddha. I pay homage to the Dhamma. I pay homage to the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And now, today's I gave a topic, the essence of practice in daily life, Mettā, Sati, and Bhāvanā. So why is choosing this topic? Because in our daily life, we need to loving kindness, Mettā, and mindfulness, Sati, and development, mental development, and Bhāvanā. We need. So this is like our food for our life. Is what we need. Without mindfulness, we feel not safe. Without mindfulness, our life is very difficult to live. Mental cultivation, so we need. So for the Mettā, loving kindness, and I want to use the term for today, Mettā, loving kindness, and Sati, mindfulness, and Bhāvanā, mental development. So in our daily life, the day we began, as soon as the day we begin, in the morning, we can practice mindfulness for cultivating loving kindness, because our life, our day is now started for the journey. So we start the day with loving kindness. That will be more easier than ever before. So how do we practice this? When we wake up in the morning, and we can clean and wash, and no matter how long it takes the time for practicing before we are going to start our days of work. So at in the morning, we can start just practicing mindfulness using on loving kindness. So how do we recite this? According to Karaniya Metta Sutta, over there, we have the instruction. So we can recite by heart, or we can recite it verbally, and we can recite mentally. Before that, we can take a little time, just 30 seconds or 1 minute, We can sit in front of Buddha statue or in a quiet place. So whenever, even walking, we can practice in reciting. So how do we practice this? May all beings be happy and secure. This is one sentence. We can contemplate deeply on that kind of sentence. May all living beings be happy and be secure. After that, we can think that how it takes us, it gives us meaning. How do we feel? So, without a conscious, without a mindfulness, just reciting, then we may lose the meaning of loving kindness. So, loving kindness, practicing loving kindness with mindfulness. So, contemplating on our walking or sitting with mindfulness, we can practice loving kindness. So, may all beings be happy and secure. May all beings be happy at our heart. And omitting no one, whether they are weak or strong, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born. May all beings be happy. And displace anyone, anywhere, through anger, ill will, wish for another to suffer. And just as a mother will protect her child, her only child, with her own life, even so, we should cultivate a boundless heart toward all beings. And we should cultivate kindness toward the whole world with a boundless heart, above, below, and all around, without hatred, enemy, whether standing, walking, sitting, and lying down. As long as we are alert, we should be resolved upon this mindfulness. And this is called as a Mettā practice. It adapts from the Karaniya Mettā Sutta. So here, one is the most important to practice in Mettā. That is just like a mother who protects her only child. There's no compare with another children. Only one child she has. So that will be fully loving kindness, Mettā. So in this manner, we can practice. So while we are standing, walking, and sitting, and lying down. So this is cultivation of loving kindness meditation. And I would like to share one of the phrase, one of the standards from the Dhamma. That is, and there are those who do not realize that one day we will miss, we all must die. But those who do realize this is Saturn, their quarrels. So we, if we miss one day, we should die. And if we know, sometimes we forget the time, or sometimes we think we are immortal. If we think and contemplate the death, then we have to, we know that we have to prepare for not to fear our death, fear. So if we know and realize it, one day we must die. Then before we die, we have to prepare. So our life is to be nice, to be saved. We have to prepare before our journey began. Sorry. That's why we need to practice in our daily life before we are going to start our work, our school. So practicing mindfulness support us for another steps. So while we are practicing, though we got a time to contemplate ourselves, and we can think that similarly, the other living beings also need the loving kindness. So to share our loving kindness, we have to have first in our hand. Without having our loving kindness in our hand, we cannot share. So to share something, we have to have first. So cultivating and accumulating our loving kindness in our daily life for some times. Then when people see us, they feel safe. They feel warm feeling whenever we go. So we need to love kindness in our daily life. And the next, Sati, mindfulness. This is one of the most important and everyone can practice this. Now, mindfulness program is very popular in the world, I can say. So mindfulness at the school, mindfulness at home, and wherever we all can do it. Suppose we are walking at the office, we can practice. So for the mindfulness, we can practice like the contemplating on our breath. So this because our breath is with us. Sometimes we forget to notice our breath. So one of the most important is factor of our practice is the practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is like our inner journey. So for there, I as using the mindfulness of the in English translation and Pali term. Pali terms is Sati and mindfulness. If we look at the Noble Eightfold Path, there are using the term right mindfulness or wise mindfulness. So we can add wise or right. So over there, right, practicing right mindfulness, we have the traditionally right mindfulness involve attention for precisely our lives. Over there are four kinds of object, or we can say four foundation of mindfulness. Mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the feeling, mindfulness of mind, and mindfulness of mental process. That is called in a Sati Bhāvanā, Kaya Nupassana Sati Bhāvanā, mindfulness of the body. And mindfulness of the feeling is a Vedana Nupassana, and mindfulness of the mind is a Citta Nupassana, and a mindfulness of mental process, that is Dhamma. So if we learn full foundation of mindfulness, then it will be more techniques or a subject or object to practice there. So we can choose over there how we practice. The journey began with establishing the mindfulness of the body. Over there, including our breath and physical activities and physical sensations. And after focusing on the body, we can then establish mindfulness of the simple feeling, our direct present moment of experience. So when we sit our practice, so the exercise of mindfulness practicing, breathing, just we can practice, and we can remind our mind to stay at the tip of nose or on the belly whenever we are comfortable. Which way is more comfortable, we can choose. If we observe our breath on the belly, we can use the term according to most Venerable Mahasiddhara. he instructs to use rising and falling, and that way is very famous and popular in his lineage. And if we are comfortable for observing and contemplating and keeping our mind at the tip of knob, it is also most closest way for us, because closing our knob by hand, it is not comfortable. So we live with our breath. Without breath, our life is no more. So as long as we are alive, the breath is with us. So contemplating on our breath is we are living at the present moment. The experience, that feeling, is more meaningful if we contemplate. Before contemplating, we can relax our body and we can relax our mind and put all energy at the tip of knob, and then our mind is now at the tip of knob. Then we are at that time we can observe like security in our house, in our temple, or anywhere in the bank. Security just check the person who look like, and our breath. So just observing and noticing the breath. When the breath is in, just notice as breath in. When it out, just recognize as out. So this is the first foundation, first technique of practicing the mindfulness of breathing. And we can practice it our daily activities whenever we work, walking and lying and sitting, no matter which position or posture, we can practice. And another activities and daily activities, we suppose we eat. So eating at the time, we can contemplate our food. The food we eat, and that is not for our enjoyment, but to survive our life and to continue our meaningful work, and to share good things with others. So eating is so positive emotion at the time. So this is one of a mindfulness practice, and another experience of practice we can practice in listening to the people who are talking, who are sharing. Listening deeply can get the meaning and can get the point. So listening mindfully. So no matter what condition happen in our daily life, if we use our mindfulness uh, then we know that mindfulness is so important in our life. Without the mindfulness, we lost our conscious and our precious or meaningful meaning. So for this in our daily life, using the technique of mindfulness with practicing each say knowing things with our mindfulness. So here, one of the thing, one of the practice venerable, the most venerable Thai forest meditation master Ajahn Chah. I would like to share here so about the mind. The mind, in truth, there is nothing really wrong with it. It is intrinsically pure. Within itself, it is already peaceful. That the mind is not peaceful, and this is because it follows moods. The real mind doesn't have anything to it. It is simply nature. It becomes peaceful or agitated because moods deceive it. This is Ajahn Chah's, the most venerable meditation master from the Thailand. He teach his audience. So in reality, the mind is pure, but the gas come into our mind at the time we agitate. We go outside. Suppose our mind is pure, but the gas come from the news, from the relatives, from our neighbors. So currently, current affairs, news, and that make us, if we don't have a strong or growing mind or mature mind, and then our mood, our emotion are going to attached. Going to attach. Then we feel agitation, feel angry, feel sad, feel worry about seeing the news. If we feel our relatives, then more a strong level of our emotion with negativities. And that is because we still need to practice and practice how our mind is to be cultivated, to mature, to have a strong energy or powerful energy of our mind. And that's why we need to practice the mindfulness, right mindfulness, wherever we are, or whenever, or whatever we see. This is just as we can avoid. And this is the thing uh, as it is. So only mindfulness can realize if we have mindfulness study or mindfulness, and then we know this is just like that. So our mind, our feeling, and the event or the current news separate. So we just see and seeing as seeing. So our negative emotion will not occur at the time. And that's why we need to practice mindfulness in our daily life. So we can realize that by practicing mindfulness, we know and the things are impermanent. Things are leading to suffering if we have a strong attachment. And we cannot control the outside world. Only we can train our mind not to leading in and associating in the practice in the negative point of view. That's why we practice in our daily life. So reading books with mindfulness, listening with mindfulness, and talking with mindfulness, and sharing something with mindfulness, and eating with mindfulness, and drinking water with mindfulness. That is very powerful and helpful for us. And even writing with mindfulness, that is a kind of a powerful technique. So whenever we want to say, if we say people as negativity, then there is a problem. And sometimes we can solve that problem. And that's why if we use our mindfulness in whatever activities or whatever how condition arise in our present moment, if we use our mindfulness, then and we can solve our problems at least something, which is we we can write down in the book, in the paper, on the paper we write down. So the paper can accept whatever we write, but people will not accept whatever we say. So who has have practiced mindfulness, they know this kind of situation. This kind of situation, if we say whatever we want to say to the people, then people will not accept or whatever the words. But when we write down on the paper, paper accept whatever we write. We want to write. So this is a good technique of practicing. And lastly, I want to share the Bhāvanā. Bhāvanā for the Bhāvanā development, mental development, or growing our mind. So there, I want to share the most and conscious and precious things. So in a Bhāvanā, we can say there are three kinds of Bhāvanā: Chindamya Bhāvanā, and Suttamya Bhāvanā. Suttamya Bhāvanā is knowledge. We have to search the knowledge, knowledge for some purpose. Suttamya Bhāvanā. So for Suttamya, we can read and we can listen for some piece of some kinds of the knowledge, knowledge from reading, knowledge from listening. Without knowledge, it is very difficult to understand how the things. So suppose we learn the language, that is Suttamya. So we learn some Dhamma talk or some words. So knowing more language can be more helpful for us to understand the kind of our situation. Because if we don't know, we cannot read the English or any other language. Suppose we never go to school, so it is difficult for us to understand when situation happen. Because now in our life in daily we know news because we can read and we can listen, and listening because we have learned some language, as suppose our own language, and some second language, such as English and Chinese and other languages. If we have learned, so we know the how the meaning of a situation. Suppose in a book, if we can read, and then we can analyze, we can understand, and that is Suttamya Bhāvanā, cultivating knowledge from anything which is more meaningful. And if it is meaningful, we can keep it to growing and to developing. If it is useless or meaningless, we can skip it, and we can escape, and we can remove that. So another cultivation is Chindamya. Chindamya Bhāvanā, that is thinking, because we can contemplate on thinking without knowing, without knowledge, without having knowledge, is difficult or hard, because thinking, the thinking of experiences based on our knowledge. That's why we can learn what is the Buddha's teaching, like Suttamaya, Chintamaya, and Bhavanamaya. This is step by step. We, in fact, in reality, we have to supposed to build a bridge, to build a house. We need knowledge how to build the house. So, and like a ruler, before we can draw the line, we need a ruler. So when we have the experience of drawing line, more and more we have the experience of drawing a line, then we can keep off the ruler. So without a ruler, we can draw a line. But at the beginning, we have to use a ruler. Like this is, we need knowledge for thinking. So the power of thinking, we need knowledge. So based on knowledge, we can think. Based on our, because for the future, we cannot think, but we think based on our knowledge, knowledge of past, knowledge of present, we can think. We can. So to cultivate this, so we really need in our daily life. So Bhavanamaya, final step is Bhavanamaya. Bhavanamaya is based on our Suttamaya and Chintamaya. So Bhavanamaya, so cultivating our growing and mental development. So practicing and cultivating our bhavana, cultivation of our mental development. So we need to have Suttamaya and Chintamaya, and Bhavanamaya can be more effective and more helpful for us. So in our daily life, it is really important to have loving kindness and mindfulness and cultivation, knowledge, and thinking process, and developing mental development, or growing of our mature mind. So these three kinds of practice is really essential in our life, in our daily life. I can say, without having loving kindness, our life is very struggle, very horrible for us whenever we go. Such as if we don't have a loving kindness, whenever we go walking on the street, or walking on the street and going to visit, we can feel safe. But if we have loving kindness, wherever we go, we have confidence, we have faith, we have our self-confidence to go anywhere, because we have a loving-kindness. Whenever people see us, they feel safe. So in return, we also feel safe because we have we think because we have loving-kindness, so there's no enemy. So there's no hatred in that moment. We think that. So practicing mindfulness of loving-kindness can raise up, can develop our life. According to Karaniya Mettā Sutta, if we practice mindfulness, we can become the higher level of living being, such as in there is no reborn again. That is called anagami. Anagami, there's wants to become. And finally, by supporting this practice, later on become area. So we still need to practice in this if we think that our life is not yet safe if we feel. So we need to practice in our daily life, like drop it and drop. So one drop it, drop. Finally, fill out and fill out our life. So we can cultivate good things with the good. We will live to our life without enemies. And for the cultivation of bhavana, I want to say according to the Buddha's teaching, that is how to cultivate our life in our daily life. So we can cultivate this kind of way, practicing to avoid all evil, cultivating to accumulate the good, and to purify one's own mind. This is the teachings of the Buddhas. So this is really important to practice and to cultivate our mind, to avoid all evil, and to cultivate all good things, and to purify our mind. That is, this is in the teachings of the Buddha. All Buddha teach the same way this consists, and the essence of his their teachings. So as I said earlier, knowledge to avoid evil things. Such knowledge to avoid evil. And such knowledge to cultivate good. And knowledge to purify our mind. So this is Suttamaya Bhavana. And thinking not to happen negative things such as to harm others. to steal which is not given, and to have a misleading life, and to telling lying the thinking. And there we can think that in return, the thinking positively, thinking not to harm, thinking soft words and then warm words to say to somebody. Use the technique to avoid all the evil, and to bring good, and to purify our mind. This is cultivation of bhavana, mental development. If we purify our mental development, then everything is easy, and our life is very simple, and our life is fully pure. So in daily life, at least for sometimes, we can practice those three important things. Practicing loving kindness, practicing mindfulness. We can choose which one is more suitable or comfortable. So 1 day not enough, 2 days not enough, 3 days not enough. We can practice day by day, like and drop by drop, water drop by drop. Finally, it fills up our life. So for this, I want to share. So we are our own master, because no mother, no father, no any other can do greater good for oneself. We are ourselves can develop our mental quality, so we cannot get help from anybody. We do ourselves. That is our practice. So I want I want to conclude my talk for this morning. That's to cultivate all good things, to avoid all evil, and to purify our mind. So keep this thing and practicing loving kindness. May all beings be happy and secure, at least for some times, and cultivating mindfulness, practicing it where whatever the activities, use mindfulness, and then we can reduce our mistakes, less mistakes, and finally we can completely right. And bhavana, we can cultivate, we can search knowledge for mental development, and we can contemplate our thinking to develop our mental qualities. And bhavana, we can, whatever a situation happen, we can contemplate as impermanence and uncontrollable and suffering. That is called three characteristics of reality. So may all living beings be happy and secure, and may all living beings be happy and be peace at your hearts. Then may all living beings to continue our good things or whatever our life is alive. So may all living beings be safe and be secure and may be free from physical and mental suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you so much, Bhante. You have actually summarized the teachings of Buddhism in such a wonderful way that Metta, Sati, and Bhavana is so important. Um, Anytime when the other thoughts come to our mind, we need to keep remind ourselves that to be aware of that present moment and have loving kindness for every beings, reminding and again, even if we forget about these things, but cultivating it and practicing it might make it more easy and a peaceful life. And really appreciate, Bhante, you sharing your insight and knowledge on these very important topics. The actually it's really practical what we should practice in our daily life. So so grateful to you, Bhante. I do not see any questions in the chat box though. Uh,
Okay. Mm.
um, do you want to bless us all, Bhante, with the blessing gatha?
But that is as usual. You do the practice as sapitiyo vivajantu sokoroko vinasatu mate bhavan tantaraya sukhe jika yuko bhava Vivadana silecha necha voda pachayino tattaro dhamma vadanti ayuvano sukhang palang.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you so much, Bhante. Uh, we appreciate the entire Dhamma talk and looking forward to see you again with another topic someday. And
Yes.
thank you, Bhante. And thanks to all the participants for logging in and uh, being present with us and listening the Dhamma sermon by Venerable Bhante Varabuddhi. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. See you next time.